Aloha and welcome to the Fall 2018 season of UHMTV, a show that brings you the latest stories from our UH campus and our community.
UHMTV is a TV magazine show written, hosted, and produced by the journalism students at the UH Mānoa School of Communications. Thanks for joining us. I'm Nick Ochs.
And I'm Shayla Torres. Coming up, we'll visit UH Mānoa's law school where volunteers are helping immigrants become legal citizens.
Go behind the scenes with Coach Rollo and the Rainbow Warriors' first winning team in years.
Meet sophomore quarterback Cole McDonald on his rise to national stardom.
Plus, we'll talk story with UH alum and former World's Strongest Man finalist, Joe Onosai.
Stay with us for our Fall 2018 episode of UHMTV.
While thousands of migrants and refugees continue to flood U.S. borders, some have found their way to Hawaii and have even made steps in becoming permanent legal residents.
And as Tyne Phillips reports, UH Mānoa's law school is determined to help as many of them become legal American citizens.
Immigration has been an ongoing issue all over America. The Migration Policy reported about 14% of the U.S. population in 2016 were immigrants. In Hawaii, nearly 18%, and 16% of Hawaii-born citizens have at least one immigrant parent. Many immigrants come to the U.S. to become a citizen, but some of the biggest struggles for them is filling out the forms and paying for it, and whether their legal rights will be upheld or ignored. But there are some people in Hawaii who are going out of their way to help these immigrants. One of those people is migration lawyer and UH Richardson School of Law professor John Egan, who's been helping at these clinics in Hawaii for about 12 years. He started the clinical training program class just this fall, where law students handle real immigration court cases and help at local immigration clinics. Egan says he felt like this was the right time to start offering the clinical training classes.
Well, I personally feel a sense of urgency because there's a lot of anxiety, a lot of fear in the immigrant community right now because of the political dynamics.
Policies and practices have been targeting our immigrant community. What we want is to have people in the state of Hawaii who have equal rights and are allowed to participate fully in everything.
So by combining outreach to the different community-based organizations, we can in some ways be a catalyst for more activity supporting immigrant communities.
These law students help immigrants start the process of becoming U.S. citizens, and some of these immigrants are just college students.
I wanted to apply for citizenship because I feel limited applying for scholarships. Sometimes they're required to be a U.S. citizen.
Some people oppose illegal immigrants, but not legal immigrants who go through the right process.
I can't reconcile illegal immigration, whereas legal immigration is something I'm all for.
People who want to volunteer at these clinics can contact Professor John Egan at the UH Law School.
How do these students find their immigration cases?
Well, actually, Professor John Egan gets these cases through his pro bono work, gives them to his students, and they present these cases at immigration court.
Thanks, Tyne. While some immigrants face an unstable future, some UH meteorologists believe Hawaii suffers from unstable infrastructure.
As Kevin Okimoto tells us, Oahu may not be prepared in the event of a direct hurricane hit.
Hurricane Michael was a devastating Category 4 storm that blasted the Florida Panhandle in October, causing an estimated $15 billion in damages. Meteorologists here in Hawaii are worried that a similar storm in the islands would be catastrophic.
I absolutely do not think that Hawaii is prepared for a major hurricane, and that's what scares me the most, is when I look around, I see infrastructure that does not look like it's ready to withstand strong winds.
Double utility poles around the islands are among some of the infrastructure-related problems, much like this double pole on the corner of Pava'a Lane and South King Street. For years, this pole was held up by a splint, posing potential hazards to residents and motorists in the area.
If you have strong winds across your terrain, you can have trees falling down on power lines themselves falling over.
There are about 60,000 wood poles on Oahu built to the outdated standards of the 1967 Public Utilities Commission. 10,000 of them are double poles.
In 2008, the PUC took the 2002 version of the National Electric Safety Code, which aims to protect the safety of the public, workers, and reduce the impact of severe weather on poles.
UH experts say even a low-grade Category 1 storm of at least 74 mile-per-hour winds would cause extensive damage to power lines and poles. According to Peter Roseg, senior spokesman of Hawaiian Electric, long-term measures are being taken to remove all such double poles. So when a new one is placed, the old one is removed immediately. This pole, owned by both Hawaiian Electric and Hawaiian Tel, was removed within 3 days after being contacted by UHMTV.
That's great that HECO responded so quickly.
It really is. So, Kevin, what should residents do if they find a downed pole or some other hazard in their own neighborhood?
That's a great question, Nick. Well, it's always better to be safe than sorry. If you see a power line that you think is faulty, be sure to call the Hawaiian Electric trouble line at the number listed below.
Thanks, Kevin. Now we turn to UH Mānoa campus, where many of the aging parking structures and surface lots could pose potential safety hazards to motorists.
Maintenance and repairs are estimated to cost about $65 million, which means parking prices across campus will soon go off, as Ashley Adriano explains.
Here at the lower campus parking structure, you can see cracked paint, false railings, rusted pipes, and other needs for repair. That's why, beginning in fall 2019, the self-funded commuter services will raise parking rates for the first time in nearly a decade.
We have about $35 million worth of repairs that need to be done to parking structure phase 1, which is the oldest parking structure. It's about 42 years old. Needs a little bit of care.
Currently, students and employees pay the same monthly rate for structure parking at $36 over the course of 4 months. Next year, the rates will increase by 17% to $42. And starting in 2021, student rates will be lower than employees by 12.5% for structure parking.
This is just a small example of the aging facilities here at the lower campus parking structure. Commuter Services tells me that the $35 million tab it would take to fix these facilities are much more cost-effective than the $100 million tab it would have taken to tear it down and rebuild.
As a student and resident here at UH, just learning about another price increase is a little frustrating since meal plans and food and housing are so expensive.
For more information, check out the UH Commuter Services website. For UHMTV, I'm Ashley Adriano.
Thanks, Ashley. Will the parking rate increase take care of all the repairs needed on campus?
Well, Shayla, the monies raised from the parking rate increases will cover only half of the fixes that are needed, but majority of those fixes will last for at least another 20 years.
Thanks, Ashley. As part of the strategy to address parking challenges, UH officials plan to offer more alternatives for commuters on campus.
Yes, Beaky is coming to UH Mānoa, but as Eunica Escalante reports, some bike advocates believe that may cause more traffic and safety problems on campus.
They're everywhere, in downtown, in Kaka'ako, at Ala Moana, and by the end of 2018, they'll even be at the University of Hawaii. Beaky, the popular bike share program, is coming to UH with 6 planned stations across campus.
We hope that this will increase the amount of people bicycling and decrease the amount of people driving to our campus.
But some bike advocates question whether UH's roads are ready for more bikers.
If we're going to be talking about having Bicky or anything at UH Mānoa campus, we need more protected lanes and not just a painted line on the side of the road.
In 2011, only 11% of UH students and staff biked to campus, even though 36% lived within the 3 miles considered the ideal distance for biking to campus. And according to UH's 2013 transportation practicum, students and staff felt that campus bike routes were not safe enough to use. Currently, UH only has 1 existing bike lane on Dole Street. All other lanes are sharrow lanes, where bikers must share the road with motorists. But there are no plans to add more bike lanes at UH, says Sakamoto of Commuter Services. Instead, their focus is on increasing bike safety awareness.
Increase that education, then there'll be a good balance between that pedestrians and bicyclists on our campus.
So will these Beaky stations be replacing any of the current bike racks that we already have?
So current bikers don't have to worry about losing any bike stalls. They'll simply be relocating bike racks to make room for new Beaky stations. If you need more information, you can check out the Commuter Services website.
Thanks, Eunica. Students who prefer to ride the bus will also have an easier time getting around town with the new bus pass.
As Tracy Kim reports, this replaces the current U-Pass and will be automatically synced with student IDs.
Starting in the fall of 2019, students will be able to catch the bus just by using their ID card.
I think the U stickers going away as a student would be a good thing for us students.
This is part of an effort to sync with the city's version of the Holo card.
Holo holo in Hawaiian means to travel or to go or to even walk. From a local pidgin sense, holo means to chill or to cruise.
There are a few things that we have to work out with UH, with the card manufacturer that UH uses, and how we can get the holo application onto your existing cards, and there's a little bit more of an effort to integrate that.
With more than 20,000 ID cards to transfer, that is not an easy task.
When we first roll it out, as you can imagine, there's quite a number of UH users who already have a student card, so they'll have to come in and get the application downloaded.
Student tuition will cover their transportation fees, but there is no guarantee that the tuition will rise. So until the Holo system is implemented, students will continue to use their ID cards with the UPass stickers on it like this. Currently, the Honolulu City Council has proposed a bill to increase the bus fare by 25 cents for standard passes and 50 cents for one-day fares. Should the bill pass, the new fares could start as early as January 2019. For UHMTV, this is Tracy Kim.
Where can students go to get their new bus pass?
Well, Shayla, current students need to go down to Campus Center and the staff will take it from there. New students will just have to apply for their ID cards since the bus pass is already included.
Thanks, Tracy. When we come back, we'll take a look at how the Rainbow Warriors are boosting UH pride.
And how quarterback Cole McDonald is taking leadership to new heights.
Don't go away.
Welcome back to UHMTV. For the first time in almost a decade, the Rainbow Warriors have posted their most winning season to date, and some fans believe it's coach Nick Rolovich to thank.
That's right. Ticket sales have increasingly gone up, and UH fans flood the Aloha Stadium to support our home team. With Coach Rolovich being a former UH football player, fans are returning in greater numbers at the Aloha Stadium. Hawaii football is raising its profile this season by participating in a bowl game, and excitement is building for our Rainbow Warriors.
It has been an exciting season, and it has been really good to see the student section finally full again.
Yes, definitely better for ticket sales. But as Keegan Olter reports, the athletic department still faces a big budget crunch.
According to University of Hawaii Athletics Director David Matlin, 62% of the budget for athletics is self-generated. However, there are still costs that no other school has to deal with. That $7.2 million is approximately 18% of the athletics' $40 million budget, the highest percentage of unique spending in the nation.
Do any of our tuition dollars pay for any sports?
Well, right now, $50 of our student fees goes towards the athletics department, but Athletic Director David Matlin is asking for an increase from the Board of Regents.
Thanks, Keegan. UH starting quarterback Cole McDonald has definitely played a huge role in raising the Rainbow Warrior hype.
He threw 13 touchdown passes in the first 3 games, which is the most by any UH quarterback since 2007. Shivani Ramos has more on our newest sophomore standout.
Cole McDonald has risen to stardom as UH's starting quarterback this season. He looks to lead with inspiration from past players like Colt Brennan.
He's probably the best quarterback in NCAA history, throwing for yards and touchdowns. I've seen him in the film room. I've watched his games countless times, front and back. And, I just try to mold my game after him. And, having him out here, seeing the knowledge that he has to bring for us as a team and for me as a quarterback, I can't thank him enough, and I can't be more appreciative than that.
McDonald made a statement in his first game as a starter. He set a new passing record in the UH quarterback's debut, throwing for 418 yards versus Colorado State. He surpassed both Nick Rolovich and Brennan during their season openers as quarterbacks.
It's the first time in years that UH has seen a quarterback with this much power and speed. Rolovich says he is impressed with how much McDonald has improved in the offseason.
He cares. He's out there throwing every day. You know, he's getting his mind right and just trying to rally the troops. So I think he understands this is a great opportunity for him.
It was a great opportunity indeed. A year ago, McDonald only threw for 22 yards. This season, he surpassed the 3,000-yard mark. With 2 more years of playing time left, McDonald has a chance to elevate his performance even higher. This is Shivani Ramos reporting for UHMTV.
Lucky number 13. Thanks, Shabani. Up next, we'll sit down with former UH football player and proud alum Joe Onosai.
Stay with us. Welcome back to UHMTV. Recently, we got a chance to sit down with former UH football player Joe Onosai.
The tribal Samoan prince talked to us about his journey from UH to the NFL and even to his current role as Pastor Joe.
Eunica Escalante has the exclusive interview.
In the 90s, he was one of the world's strongest men, placing as a finalist for the World's Strongest Man competitions in 1994 and 1995.
Oh, here we go!
And at one point, he was also known as a Samoan prince.
I
want to start at the beginning. Can you tell us a little bit about your childhood?
Well, I grew up in the beautiful place of Kalihi, specifically in Kuhia Park Terrace, and went to Doe Intermediate School, then ended up right down the street here at University High School.
Yeah. And then after you got into sports, you were recruited by the UH football team, where you had a stellar 4-year career. What were your fondest memories of that time?
Well, back then, we used to have 50,000 people in the stadium.
Oh, wow.
We used to pack the stadium out, and just running out of the stadium tunnel with the band playing Hawaii Five-O, I'll never forget that. Just being able to see my family and friends and to be able to play in front of them and just experience the energy of the crowd, especially when we did well. And I'll never forget those moments. I still hear the loud crowd cheering and all the confetti being tossed around in the stadium. So never forget the great atmosphere that we used to play with.
And then you were recruited into the NFL, right?
Yeah. After having a career with the University of Hawaii, my childhood dream was to play for the Dallas Cowboys. And so to be able to even get drafted by the team that you dreamed to play, because when you're a football player, you just want to be drafted by any team. But to be drafted by the team that you always envision yourself wearing their jersey and playing for their team, it was a dream come true for me.
But then in your first season, you suffered a serious neck injury, which forced you into early retirement. Many other athletes would have been devastated by that, but then you found a way to bounce back. What was your motivation, and how did you find that strength?
I did bounce back, but it took several years. I think I cried for 2 years because it was such a passion of mine and a dream of mine to play in the NFL. That was devastating for me, and it took me a couple years to really, dream again and believe that there was actually something else out there for me to do.
Mm-hmm. So. Yeah. And then could you tell us about what was your next step after the NFL?
I was always, even as a football player and as an athlete, I was always the guy on the forefront, leading the team, communicating with the team, motivating the team. And so when I got into ministry and began to really practice my faith as a Christian, I noticed that I was able to influence people even in the Christian community. And so that's where some of my mentors began to say, hey, Joe, perhaps being a pastor or a minister will be something that you would consider doing.
Yeah, and in your book, you talk about finding your purpose and how each and every one of us has our own purpose. Do you think that you found your purpose?
My desire is to help people to discover, develop, and release their God-given purpose. And everything that I do in my life is all summed up in that one statement.
Thank you for sharing your stories with us, Joe, and thank you for joining us on UHMTV.
Thank you.
Next on UHMTV, how to give the gift that keeps on giving.
And what a former beauty queen is doing to give back to her community. We'll be right back, right here on UHMTV.
I chose UH Manoa's College of Social Sciences because it inspires me to be bold and unafraid, to stand out, speak up, defend, and question.
It's about being in my element, being engaged, and being part of something great.
At the College of Social Sciences, we empower students to explore their interests, discover what they excel in, and learn how to apply their knowledge outside the classroom. Visit us today and learn more about us, because life is not one-dimensional and your college degree shouldn't be.
Welcome back to UHMTV.
With the holidays approaching, the Blood Bank of Hawaii is looking for donors to give the ultimate gift to patients. Clarissa Gonzales has more.
The Blood Bank of Hawaii provides blood to 18 civilian hospitals statewide. Every day, they need 200 people to donate in order to provide enough blood for Hawaii's hospitals. The weekly campus blood drive here at UH Manoa aims to help them reach that goal.
We are there every single week. A lot of people don't realize every Tuesday at Campus Center we have a blood drive which is open to the public going on.
Program manager Amy Bender organizes blood drives on college and high school campuses. These drives play a vital role in bringing in more donations for the blood bank.
They had a blood drive at our high school, and that was the first time that I really saw an opportunity to give blood, because I didn't really know that was a thing I could do at that age.
With people rushing to prepare for the holidays and schools closed for winter break, it's hard for the blood bank to reach that daily goal throughout December. But the demand for blood is year-round. Every 2 seconds, someone in the U.S. needs blood. Yet less than 10% of the population that is eligible to donate actually does.
The holiday season is the best time to give blood. Accidents are up. Every time you read about a crash or almost any kind of incident, somebody needs blood as a result of that.
With the demand for blood rising by 6% each year, the blood bank needs more people to roll up their sleeves and donate.
It's a great way, again, to give to the community, and it costs you nothing.
So if people want to donate, what can they do?
Well, Nick, the blood bank is actually running a promotion for the month of December to encourage more people to donate. They'll be giving away a vacation package to one lucky donor. For more information, visit bbh.org.
Thanks, Clarissa. It's always been in her blood to give back. UH alumni Julianne Chu is a former Miss Hawaii USA who chose a career as a special ed teacher.
Miss Hawaii USA 2018, Julianne Chu.
Julie Chu competed for 5 consecutive years before winning the title of Miss Hawaii USA 2018. But vying for the crown isn't her 9 to 5. She also teaches a special education class at Kahala Elementary. She says her inspiration for becoming a special ed teacher is her brother, who has Asperger's syndrome. Since winning the 2018 crown, she's become more and more connected to her students.
My students definitely inspired me to go for my dreams, and because I went for my dreams, then they're like, okay, since you didn't give up, I can never give up on anything.
On top of everything, Chu is currently working on her project called the Mānoa Movement, where victims of domestic abuse can speak out and share their story, whether they want to be identified or anonymous.
So I am a survivor of domestic violence, and I didn't share my story with anyone for 8 years. So it was something I didn't even tell my family, my sister, my mother, my friends or anything.
People who want to get involved with the Mānoa Movement can visit Chu's website at www.juliechuhawaii.com.
Thanks for joining us on UHMTV.
To send us comments or feedback, visit our UH Manoa journalism website.
Thanks for watching. I'm Nick Ochs.
And I'm Shayla Torres. Aloha and a hui ho. We'll see you next time.